Here are some plant selections for you to use for your fairy garden. Some of the lower maintenance plants that you could choose would be things like Tillandsias. We have a lot of different choices for Tillandsias. Some are very tiny. Some have really funky shapes to them that I think would be really fun to use in a fairy garden. We have some that are more purple, like this Tillandsia or this Tillandsia, so you can use color in your plant selection and plant choices. Another option is maybe some red Tillandsias. This one is red, so if you wanted to have a splash of red or use this as a shrub, that would be a choice. There are also succulents that you can use in your in your fairy garden. There are succulents that are going to be smaller, that may grow tall at some point. There are succulents that have very broad leaves. So texture is kind of important in your fairy garden. Thinking about the different looks of succulents and Tillandsias that you can use. One of the key factors that you want to consider when you're planting your fairy garden is your plant choices need to be of similar care requirements. So if you're going to use something like a Tillandsia, you need to make sure that most of your fairy garden is all Tillandsias. If you're going to use a succulent, you need to make sure your fairy garden is comprised of plants that need very little water and very, very bright sunlight. We can take a look at some tropical choices that we have here for you to use in your fairy garden. All right, some tropical choices for your fairy garden are things like this baby tears, which is really tiny. It's going to create a ground cover. This is one of those plants that likes a little bit more moisture, so you're going to want to, again, choose plants that have similar care requirements. You could use little baby tiny ferns with this baby tears. You could use some, if you're wanting some more color and structure, you could use a pothos, a really small one. Just know that that pothos is going to get big someday. For shadier, less low light conditions, an ivy would be a good selection. There are spider plants that would be good choices for a fairy garden. If you're wanting a tree-like plant, we have some ficus, and they come in a couple of different colors. We have this lime green variegated one and a white and green variegated one, so it offers you some color choices. Flowering plants, violets are amazing for fairy gardens. And then this little campanula, which would be a great choice for a fairy garden. Other color selections would be some begonias. Some Rex begonias, they come in a wide variety of colors and textures. So again, it gives you some options and some choices for fairy gardening. So if you can always stop in and ask questions of the staff here at Cons about the plants that you might want to put in your fairy garden. Here's some really fun little club moss that again is like a ground cover. Nice bright green color. It's not going to get very tall. It'll stay really low to the ground. There are some other ferns that are a little bit bigger. We have a couple of different pot sizes. There's little tiny 2.5-inch pots and then some 4-inch pots. So if you have a larger container that you're wanting to plant in, there's definitely a lot of options. If you're wanting to put a really fun tree in, we have these Norfolk Pines as an option as well. We have a lot of different soil covers that you can use for your indoor fairy garden planter. We have different types of mosses that are available. There's large stones, river rock, if you're wanting to add just 1 or 2 pieces that might look like boulders. There's small, very tiny pebbles for walkways and patio spaces. We have blue glass stones that could simulate water. There's brown stones, white stones, and sand if you're interested in creating maybe a sandbox space in your fairy garden. So we have a lot of things to choose from to help you create your very own fairy garden that you can enjoy in your home. If you're interested in learning more about fairy garden, we offer several classes year-round with help in creating your very own fairy garden. Just visit our website to find out the dates and times of those classes. Thanks for watching.
Making every season beautiful. Conflict.